You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our friends over at the Glebe Central Pub. The Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of Glebe. Great people, great food, tasty drinks. Check them out at 779 Bank Street and let them know that the Locked On Senators sent you. I'm Brandon Pillar alongside the Martian at Laleem's Martian after a dominant 4-0 Ottawa Senators win at home over the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Martian, the year 2023 seems pretty good to me as the Ottawa Senators are perfect 2-0 so far.
That's right, Pilsy. 2-0 in the year, baby. That's a great way to start the year, isn't it, buddy?
You love to see it. You absolutely do. And Kevin, thank you for the shout out. Pilsy looking good in HD. The new laptop is looking crisp. It's feeling good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we knew this was a game the Ottawa Senators should have won. Ross and I labeled this as a can't lose game. And boy, did the Ottawa Senators not lose this one. Martian, we were talking after the first period. Sure, maybe it was still 0-0, but the Sens were winning 0-0 in that one. Like, they were dominating. You could tell that the floodgate was about to burst open. How did you feel about the start of this one?
Yeah, I mean, they were doing everything right at the start of the game, and they just never got rewarded with a goal in the first period. And that's all right, because they were ready for the second period. They actually came out with a bit of a bang for once in that second period frame. So that was really, really nice to see, Pilsy. And but yeah, like, I wasn't too worried, obviously. Like, the way it was going, it was pretty clear the Sens were the better team, so things should have gone in their way. And that's why you and I both hopped right over to betonline.ag, right, buddy? We decided, we were like, hey, the Sens are dominating. They usually don't lose this kind of game when they're looking good like this against a weaker opponent. So yeah, easy decision, easy money.
Oh, yeah, you love to see it. And so that's how the first period goes. No goals scored, although there was some excitement. I mean, Parker Kelly, man, this guy is figuring out how to lay big hits. It seems like once per game, he's laying guys out. And he had a massive hit on Bjork. Like, he's been playing good fourth line hockey lately, Parker Kelly, eh?
Oh man, yeah, he's definitely, like, he's one of my standouts tonight for sure. Like, he was a really hardworking guy out there tonight. So funny, man. Like, the way he gets under people's skin and the way he's able to skate around out there and just be a total pest. And you could tell Bjork from that moment on was like, his whole attention was focused entirely on Parker Kelly when they were on the ice out there together, because he came at him with another big run of his own. And Parker ended up going through him again. So not only is he engaging in it, he's taking it, and he's taking it well too. So you got to love to see that. And that just makes the other team even more frustrated, because I really feel like Parker Kelly, his game distracted the Blue Jackets a little bit, because he was a total pest.
Yeah, it's like the Blue Jackets took a bunch of penalties in this game, and it ended up working out for Ross. Both Ross and I, our keys to victory ended up ringing true. Ross's was try to play physical and get this team off their game and have them take penalties. Check. That worked. And mine was, once you start scoring, because we knew the Ottawa Senators were going to get at least some goals in this game, don't take your pedal off the floor. Like, keep going. Don't be like, okay, it's just the Blue Jackets. They can't score on us. Let's just hang out. Nope. They keep pushing, and they end up ultimately with a 4-0 win. But how did they get to that 4-0 win? We're going to keep going through the scoring summary here as Sanderson. The power play was almost over, and it was Bjork, the guy that Parker Kelly hit that hooks Claude Giroux. He gets a penalty, and Sanderson, with like 17 seconds left in the power play, just flings one on net. Nice high shot, and Derek Brassard, he gets a tip on it. And Martian, I really like this goal when they showed the third replay, the wide replay, because you see Brass is much closer to the blue line when Sanderson gets it, but he reads the play. He knows Sanderson's going to put that on net. So immediately, as soon as Sandy gets the puck, he pivots, turns to the net, and gets himself in position, ready for a deflection, and it ends up working out for him.
Yeah, that's just a really smart play by Brassard. And he said in his intermission interview that he was practicing tipping pucks earlier this morning with Brady Tkachuk. So that paid off for him really nicely. And you know, as an older guy, right, he's got to be smart out there, and he just did the right thing and got lucky almost with that one. Like, he barely touched it, like maybe just a little piece, but it was the perfect amount, because I think Korpisalo would have stopped that if he didn't deflect it that little bit that he did. So it was just a really good play by him. So happy to see that. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, there's such a thing as getting too much of a tip on it, right? If you tip it too much, it ends up going high or wide, and you've effectively ruined a chance there. So it's the perfect amount of the right touch by Derek Brassard there, and that makes this a 1-0 game as the Ottawa Senators score on the power play. And their next goal, it comes a little later, as this one's not on the power play though, but it just shows the importance of winning a draw. Giroux wins the ozone draw, and sure, the puck knocks off the linesman's skate and goes conveniently right to Tim Stützle in the high slot. But you got to win that draw. And if you're Tim Stützle, you got to be in the right spot at the right time and have that awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, you could see them talking about it before that face-off happened, right? You could see Timmy talking to Giroux and a few of the other veteran guys, which is pretty funny. You see that from a 20-year-old guy, right? Having those conversations. But he was like, put it backwards and I'm going to skate into it. And it worked out perfectly. And as soon as he kind of popped off his spot on the half wall like he did, Timmy, then he cuts right to the middle. He collects the puck and he just rips it. And that was just a great play by him. And just so skilled, man. His game lately is just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Timmy's more known for like silky hands and nice moves to get around a goalie, but that's just a good old fashioned hard shot that Korpisalo doesn't have much of a chance for. And it's all about that release with Timmy. He gets that off so quickly, and that ultimately makes it 2-0 for the Ottawa Senators. And now another penalty for the Columbus Blue Jackets, this time a Kent Johnson penalty on Branny. And this was one of the Ottawa Senators' smoothest goals all year. And I think DJ Smith is going to love this one. And Noodles mentioned it on the broadcast. Every single power play player touches the puck on this play as they enter the zone, and Brady slides it over to Timmy. Timmy does a great job pivoting and absorbing contact. He moves it over to Batherson, and then we're talking about a nice shot from Timmy. I think Batherson had an even nicer shot, if you can imagine, as it goes off the post and in. Martian, you clipped that one. What a beauty.
Bar down or it doesn't count. Drake Batherson. That was ridiculous. Yeah. Like, he absolutely rifled that puck, Pilsy. Like, that was a hard shot. And for it to just go off the bottom of the crossbar and straight down the way it did into the net, what a shot. Like, I could watch snipes like that all day. That's friggin' beautiful.
So nice. And the CTC was treated to a bunch of nice goals in this one. And that makes it 3-0. That's the Ottawa Senators' second power play of the game. And that's how the second period ends. The Ottawa Senators are up 3-0. And Martian, we were chatting about after that first period being like, the second period is going to be full of goals here. And sure, it's all in the Ottawa Senators' favor. You love to see that. But you could just tell that both teams were kind of itching to get one going here. And it's the Senators that take advantage in the second period, which is refreshing. I feel like second periods have been a little funky for this Ottawa Senators squad.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell, you said it, like they were totally like both teams were getting a lot of looks, and it was just a matter of time before goals started to happen. I'm just like, second period feels like it's going to be a really high scoring period. It would have been maybe if Columbus could score a goal, but they didn't really have that many chances even in the second period, I would say, compared to the first, because in the first period, man, Columbus actually had a few really good looks.
It did.
Like, there was a couple like breakaways and semi breakaways, and Forsey had to make those early saves, and I think we've made it this far, I think, without mentioning him, but Anton Forsberg as well. I just had an incredible game, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you save 100% of the shots, that was a pretty good game for the goalie. Hashtag goalie friendly show. We'll get to him, I'm sure, in the Sen Central standouts. Now we head to the third period, and there was a couple really close scoring chances for both these teams. Timmy kind of does a fake shot, and then he glides in closer to the net because he can't believe that they're giving him this space. And then he rings it off the post, and then Thomas Chabot is right there at the side of the net for a tap-in. But Korpisalo, you got to give him stick taps where it's due. He makes a really good save there. I thought that was a great chance. I was hoping Timmy scored that one because that would have been another nice one for Timmy.
Yeah, 3 points on the night would have looked really good on him tonight because it was one of those ones where he had the puck on his stick all night. It
Yeah.
felt like, he would have deserved 3 goals. Did you see the double spinorama move that he pulled where he's just throwing guys in the spin cycle? Just like
It was Gaudreau. It was the same guy. He did the double spin on.
Yeah, he like puts the puck through his own legs. It's unbelievable when he's doing stuff like that on an NHL ice surface, Pilsy. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, like, yeah, but that shot that he had, that opportunity, that was just, he missed it by a fraction of a centimeter, right? Like, that was so close to going in.
Yeah.
And it was one of those nights that felt like it was probably going to go in for him, but it just didn't this time. But yeah, still had a great night. And we didn't need that. And they didn't really need that goal, right? I mean,
That's the thing. It ended up being all right, but moments later, and I believe this was when Columbus was on the penalty kill. It was a 2-on-1 for Sillinger and Roslovic, and this is one of the handful. I shouldn't say handful, but there was 3 or 4 big saves that Forsberg had to make, and this was one of them. As it's a 2-on-1, and he slides over and makes that big save. That's why I know some people are looking at this like, okay, it's the Columbus Blue Jackets. They only got 22 shots. Couldn't have been very good game for Forsberg, or like he didn't have to steal this game for them or anything like that. He had to come up clutch in a couple spots, and that's all you can ask your goalie to do. And I thought Forsberg did a great job of that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he was there for them all night when they needed him, all the way there, like every single shot, right? Like we said, so like, what, you can't ask anything more of him, and especially for him, right, coming off the bench essentially, like he has been, like, if this is a tandem 1A 1B situation, he's been 1B, right? Let's be real.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, and which is great to see that he's able to kind of step in a little bit colder than usual and play well still, because he usually does, play well when he's playing continuously and getting in a groove, but he's able to jump in there too and have good games, which is all we need from him.
Yeah, exactly. And all we need is positivity only in the chat. L's are going in the chat for our departed friend Ryan, who I don't know what that guy's deal was, but he's just coming in trying to troll. Everybody here knows that we're just having a good time, and there's no need to troll on a 4-0 Ottawa Senators win. We love you guys in the chat.
I didn't even see what happened, so
it was moving quickly, so I could barely see it too. But I mean, this Ryan guy is trying to throw chirps, and we don't need that. Get that garbage out of here. That's for sure. So
yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, see you later, Ryan. And speaking of getting that garbage out of here, the Ottawa Senators, not only did they score 2 power play goals, but on a clearing by Austin Watson on the penalty kill, they score a shorthanded goal in this one as well to make it 4-0. That effectively ices this game. I mean, it was over much sooner than that. But man, Austin Watson, he's been putting the puck in the net a little bit here recently. So you love to see that from.
Well, Pilsy, why are you acting surprised? He's a double-digit goal scorer as recent as last season.
It's true, yeah, and he seems to heat up later on in the season goal wise.
He finds ways to put pucks in the back of the net. But on that play, I mean, Hamonic blocked a shot. And he was feeling it after that one. What did you see there, Pilsy? Do you think Hamonic's gonna be okay?
I mean, that's going to be tough because not only did he block a shot, Martian, that was a Patrick Laine shot. And
yeah, it's heavy.
I mean, say what you want about Patrick Laine, but one thing rings true. He has one of the best shots in the league. Now, does he have the rest of a game and tools to put it all together? Probably not. But his shot alone is lethal. So blocking that is a big move by Travis Hamonic. And he went to the room right after. I'm not quite sure where it hit him. So hopefully it's just kind of a black and blue bruise situation, and he's just got a bit of a stinger for a bit. But also the positive thing here is the Sens don't play till Saturday, so even if it is something a little more lingering,
got time to ice that and he can rest up.
And they're at home, so it's not like they got to get on a plane and travel. Just go back to your bed, get some frozen peas out of the freezer, and sit on the couch for a bit for Travis Hamonic, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we got to appreciate Hamonic a little more than we do sometimes, because this guy bleeds for this team. Like, he goes through it. Like, what other Sens defenseman puts his body on the line like he does? He's almost like Austin Watson, but on defense, I find. Like, this guy will actually, like, he'll lose teeth. He'll break his nose. He'll take shots in the knee off his foot, whatever. He'll endure pain if it means that it's going to block a shot. So you got to appreciate that, because let's be like, even last game I saw there's a moment where Brady Tkachuk like didn't look like he wanted to get in front of a shot. So not everybody's willing to do it all of the time. But those two guys, Watson and Hamonic, both are. So that was kind of them combining on that one.
Yeah, and I mean Ross is a big Hamonic guy, and there's things that he does that other guys don't do, for good or for bad, I should say.
Yeah.
But you need guys and
Paper
veteran
tapping,
guys.
not everybody does that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. But you need defensemen that are like, hey, I'll earn my living by just eating pucks once in a while. And Travis Hamonic, he does do that. So I like that shout out, Martian. We'll give him stick taps there. And speaking of shout outs, we will move on to our standouts after a quick word from our friends at Glebe Central Pub. It is the pub in the heart of Glebe. We love our friends over at the Glebe Central Pub. They are the sponsor of the Locked On Senators podcast, Postcast. Especially, they are our exclusive sponsor there. Check them out at 779 Bank Street. They got shuttles going all month. I think they have 4 different shuttles for Sens games here. So if you guys are trying to get boots on the ground so you can send pictures of your feet to Laleem's Martian, you got to go to the Glebe Central Pub, have a couple beers before, have a chicken Caesar wrap to get a nice full meal in your belly. An hour before the game, the shuttle leaves right from the bar, right to the CTC. Keep it going, have a couple beers at the game, celebrate a W, get a safe ride back to the pub, and then finish off with a nightcap and maybe some waffle fries at the end of the night. Our friends over at Glebe Central Pub. All right, Martian. I feel like there's a lot of options here for Sen Central standouts, so I will pass it over to you. You pick the first one here.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys we can go to here for sure, but I'm gonna take the semi low hanging fruit here, and that's our boy Timmy Stützle. Pilsy, he played 21 minutes tonight, 21 minutes and 39 seconds, so almost 22 minutes. That's a good amount of ice time. And then taking the fact that he's 20 years old, he had 2 points on the night, and he's playing on the power play, obviously, and the penalty kill. So playing on the penalty kill is something that we saw a little bit last season. We're seeing it more and more this season now too. I love it that they're throwing him out there in these situations where he can get a quick spring out. He accelerates so fast so he can put pressure on guys quickly, right? And these are underappreciated parts of Tim Stützle's game that are getting better and better as he gets older. And, about 2 years, I mean, when he was in his first season as a rookie, there's no chance Tim Stützle was out there in any, they were sheltering his minutes, things like that. And now he's becoming a defensively responsible two-way center. How scary is that?
It's wild. And the thing, I like this move by DJ too, because I feel like sometimes you get young offensive superstars and they're just all about offense. Because if they're taking penalties because they're trying to cheat offensively or they're frustrated or whatever, well, they don't care. They don't ever have to kill penalties. What's it to them if the penalty killers have to go out and eat pucks like Hamonic and Holden and Watson, whatever. That's not a big deal. But throw those young kids out on the penalty kill and you get an appreciation for how important it is not to take penalties, to be disciplined, how hard it is to kill penalties and block shots and create offense when you're down a man. So I think it's a great learning experience for Tim Stützle, and the more experiences you can add to his bag is amazing. And he signed the biggest deal in franchise history. You should be able to kill penalties when you're making those kind of top dollars if asked upon. So I think it's great for Tim Stützle, and he has yet another great night. I mean, this guy's on fire. Ross tweeted out, I think, a bit just trying to get some clicks and the people fired up on Twitter. Nothing wrong with that, but Tim Stützle as a Hart candidate, I mean, probably a bit of a stretch right now, but in the future,
it's not crazy to think that he could potentially be the most important player on his team in the NHL. It's not crazy to think. He's so skilled. He's got so much highway in front of him still, right? He's just going to keep going.
He doesn't even stay. He's still on his entry-level contract.
I mean, exactly. We're not there yet, Ross, but I mean, we're getting close to talking about him being the best player of this team night in and night out. But yeah, I mean, not quite yet, I don't think. I mean, I would even say Brady's been more of a hard candidate on the Sens this season for them. But That, in my opinion, he's been their MVP. But I mean, anyways, we can move on from that. But man,
Brady's not going to let him pass him that easily. I mean, he led the team in points last year. Currently, still leads the team in points. The only Ottawa Senator to not miss a game in the year 2022. So, I mean, Brady's the guy right now. But
yeah,
there are lots of other guys, and there's lots of other standouts for this game. So, my Sens Central standout, presented by the Glebe Central Pub, gotta be Anton Forsberg. I mean, he gets the shutout. And I thought he had a lot of good saves, like I mentioned. Like in that first period, Robinson had a full clear breakaway. He tries to do backhand, forehand deke, tries to open up the 5-hole, tries to get Forsberg frozen. Forsberg stands tall, squares up to the shot, and makes a really good save. And at that point, Martian, it's 0-0. So if the Columbus Blue Jackets go up 1-0, I'm not saying this game is over or that's a major TSN turning point, but that's a momentum shifter for a bottom-feeding team that doesn't win on the road. They're now 2-12-1 on the road. So if they get that first goal in Ottawa, maybe that quiets down that crowd. Maybe they get a little boost. Maybe they score on their power
100%.
play. So that's a big save for Forsberg. And I'm a goalie. I mean, I played house league goalie for an absolute garbage team. So I loved getting shots. I was getting 40 shots a game, and that was when I was in my groove. Anton Forsberg is a similar guy where the stats from last year, he had six wins when he had to make 40-plus saves. He loves getting action and getting pucks and feeling it and staying in the game. So a game like this where you only get 22 shots and it's sporadic and it's not consistent, that actually might be more difficult for a goalie like him. So for him to stay sharp, stay in the game, make those big saves, huge game by Anton Forsberg. So he's my Sens Central standout. Let's snap it around once more. I feel like we can easily do that, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is one of those nights when they win. I feel like we can pretty much go around twice, even when there's three of us, right? We can find six guys who had good games. Yeah, for sure. My next one's gonna be Claude Giroux. Man, he's been so good all season, and we're talking about a guy. He's 34 years old, but he's still wheeling out there, Pillsy. I don't know if you noticed. Like, there's times, right, where he is. He's the first guy in on the forecheck, and the next thing you know, he's the first man back too. So like he's not slowing down anytime soon. And It's something we talked about with Ross a little bit, right, in the group chat during the game. But Ross is like, he's my favorite player. I think he's my favorite player in the NHL, and it's easy to see why Ross falls in love with him, right? Because tonight again sets the tone, right? Like he's the guy who's setting up these goals. He got the 2 assists in the first 2 goals of the game. So he's involved offensively still very much so. How about 71% in the dot tonight, Pillsy? He's winning draws. He's the number one face-off guy on the team, obviously, but he's being relied upon heavily for that. That's something that he's been doing a lot of. Obviously, he takes draws for Stützle on occasion, and then sometimes he takes draws for not even his own line. I think there's a few moments again tonight where he did that. So Claude Giroux, just a stud. Even at his age, I could see him playing until he's like late 30s. Like if he's not, I mean, he still looks great. And the thing that makes him great is his brain, the way he thinks the game, and why he jumps into the right spots at the right times, and he's able to read plays. So Claude Giroux, easy standout choice for me, and I'm excited to see him at least for the next 3 years in the Sens uni.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's ridiculous to think that this won't be his last contract and won't be his last contract with the Sens. Like, I would love, Ross and I, we've made this comparison a couple times on the pod. He's kind of in Joe Pavelski territory where a team has kind of given, I don't want to say given up on him, because the Flyers didn't give up on him. They just went in a different direction. And as we thank our guy, Steve G, he's got a man crush on Giroux. I mean, fair. He's a good-looking dude. He's making bank. He's an awesome hockey player. So that is definitely fair. Thank you for the donation there, Steve. But Joe Pavelski plays his whole career with the Sharks. They're like, okay, it doesn't fit in our plans. He goes to Dallas, signs a 3-year deal where some people were like, maybe that's overpayment. But now he's already on. He signed another 1-year deal and just signed an extension for another 1-year deal. So I could see Claude Giroux finishing this, signing a 1-year deal, deciding how do I feel, how's the team going, and then signing another one. And that would take him effectively to 40 years old. And this team would love to have that because, yeah, like you mentioned, this is not a guy where you're like, Well, he's a bit slow now. He doesn't have the hands, but he's got good hockey IQ and he's a leader. It's not that situation. It's all still there. He's still an all-star player, and he very well could be this team's all-star. And I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. And speaking of, or you want to hop in here?
I was going to say a quick thing. I was like, when was the last time the NHL had a player coach? Because Claude Giroux could easily transition his way out of his career, like doing a little bit of coaching on his way out. You know what I mean?
He would love that. He already kind of is that.
You know,
like he
scratch himself one night. Just scratch himself one night and put himself behind the bench. You know, like. But I'm not saying head coach, but I'm saying like an associate coach / assistant captain role would be pretty crazy.
I love that idea. It's been a while since we've seen that. And Ali Dez, one of our favorite listeners and people to engage with, loves the welcome by Ross. That's definitely a thing. This is for Graham's Shawarma Fund. We know where Graham's going to go with that shawarma money. Obviously, Shawarma Palace. You love to see that. And our guy, Sen Central citizen, Phil, only 5 points back of Washington. Like, Martian, you got to be slamming that believe sign. I want you to get a believe sign for your background. We gotta have.
I can go back and I should do that. Yeah, so I can go back and hit it. On the nights that we're believing. Yeah,
we gotta do that because I'm starting to really believe, and the P word is becoming closer and closer.
Oh gosh,
5 points back here. It's not crazy to think that once the Ottawa Senators start getting some of their players back and they start getting more healthy, most notably Josh Norris, who is looking like could be coming back sooner, although Bruce Garriock kind of said it's still going to be a while, but at least he's going to play this season, which is a positive. He's not needing surgery like we thought might happen. So this team, they could do it. The P word is allowed. And before I get to my second Central standout, Martian, we got another goggle day to hand out here.
Yeah.
Who's your pick for the goggles? I think there's a couple good options because Claude Giroux has them right now, just so you know.
Yeah, Claude Giroux is going to go Forsberg. That's my gut.
Yeah, you got to go Forsberg on this one. It's his first shutout. He hadn't played... I don't want to say he hadn't played very well, but he wasn't kind of the dominant Forsberg this team was used to in a little while, but he gets the win in the last game and gets the shutout here. So you love to see that. Forsberg is my choice too. And Ali Dez doing a donation for Joe Bell. Joe Bell, also one of our favorite listeners here. That's for sure. So
Joe's
thank you.
I guess Joe's not here tonight if they're making donations on his behalf. Oh, no, there he is.
No, Joe is here. You cannot
doing solidarity for Joe.
You cannot ever think that Joe Bell will not be here. I don't think Joe Bell's missed a single postcast. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, he's been here every time, and he's always a great dude telling people to smash the like button and support the show. So we appreciate that, Joe.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, he's always one of the top contributors in the old chat, which is always bumping, by the way, on these postcasts. I don't know. A lot of people listen to these in the morning, but if you're in the postcast when the postcast is happening, it's a bit of a party, right? It's good.
It is a party.
These days we should start, picking somebody out of the crowd and get a little guest call and or taking an audio clip or something and playing it for the postcast. I don't know. We can come up with something fun. We got to start getting a little more creative. We can't do the same thing every time for everybody.
I was going to say, talk to producer Ross about that. He's the one that has the outside of the box thinking ideas. I'm just trying to keep this bus in between the ditches, Martian, to be perfectly honest here. And Steve G, man, this guy, he's loving it tonight. Thank you, Steve G. 4K Pilsy is awesome. Thanks for upgrading the equipment. No, Steve, thank you, because I wouldn't be able to upgrade the equipment. I don't know if you guys know, but MacBook Pros are not cheap. The support and not only the support from you guys, donations, they help also, but supporting the pod, downloading, listening, engaging with us, retweeting, the support from our sponsors, they allow us to make these upgrades. Ross and I bought a soundboard so we can do live shows. I think I saw our guy, Kevin, talking about hopefully LOSP does a live show. We are planning on doing a live show at the Glebe Central Pub in February for the Neil retirement game. Keep your eyes and ears posted for that. Once Ross can figure out his schedule and figure out a way to get there and we can finalize it, that is the plan in place, guys. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. I feel like I've really gotten off track from my second Sen Central standout, but I'm here now. I'm going with Drake Batherson. I mean, sure, he had his point streak busted up, but this guy on the power play is just so effective. And yes, I believe Bruce Garriock mentioned that he leads the league in the plus minus category, not where you want to be leading. But when you're putting up offense like this guy and most of your work gets done in the power play, the plus minus is going to suffer. And I feel like he's doing a good enough job scoring goals that I'm not going to harp on the guy for having a bad plus minus. So Drake Batherson is going to be my Sen Central standout here because that shot was so nasty. My God.
Yeah, that was just a snipe and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, in the chat, do we have any other goggle? Did Brandy get the goggles? Is that confirmed?
No,
Our guy Ferg Murdoch is saying Brandy goggles.
I would be shocked if he won them tonight. I don't know. It was nice to see him back, but I don't think he was good enough to get the goggles.
But the thing is, the Sens, like Brandy just got back. The Sens are often doing things like that where it's momentum boosters. Like I can see Claude Giroux being like, Forsy, great game, shutout. Timmy, another 2-point performance, but got to give this to Brandy. Great way to battle back from injury.
Yeah,
or whatever.
way to
like,
return. Yeah. You had a good game in return. Yeah, maybe. And they do, I think, tend to use it on guys who are having low confidence moments. Remember what they did with Zaitsev, right? When he came back from being scratched too. So, yeah, I mean, you never really know who they're going to pick because the vibe in the room is probably a little different than what we're feeling.
Exactly. And I love that, though. Like, there's 3 stars of the game. There's all kinds of things where just your stats will give you acknowledgments and you'll get rewarded for that. But sometimes the team knows who needs this the most right now, who needs a boost, and that's what they're doing. That's a good sign of a good locker room. And Brady Tkachuk mentioned a little while ago, I forget what outlet or who asked him or whatever the reporter was, but he mentioned that this is the closest locker room and group of guys he's ever played with the Sens. And they're all going out together. They all hang out together. They do stuff outside of hockey, outside of mandatory things. So, I mean, that's what you want from this coach.
I don't know if he meant to do that, but there's a little bit of a tooting your own horn there by Brady because he's been doing that captain shit to get the boys all together, get that camaraderie going, right? And
hell yeah.
So he's maybe I don't know if he probably didn't because he's so humble in his interviews, but a little bit of a self tire pump there, I think, too, because he's created a little bit of a culture here too.
Big time.
Oh yeah, I mean we've all seen it. I've seen them out on the town, and I see what he's like with all the boys too, and he's yelling at them all and like saying, "Let's go here, I'm going here, you go there." It's pretty funny, right? Like how in control he is for such a young guy. But I guess they have a young team too. But
I mean, this picture is all you need to see to know what is Brady Tkachuk doing to rally the boys. That's him bartending behind the bar with last year's version of the goggles, the bike helmet and glasses, wearing. I think he might be going full commando under those overalls. Who knows with Brady Tkachuk, but that's the kind of dude he is. What an absolute blast. Oh my God.
That's so funny. Yeah. Like he's got to be the life of the party if he's ever out like that, right? I don't know if you heard the hilarious story about them there's a pool club that they go to in the summertime.
No, let's hear it.
Oh, apparently like there's this pool club and they go there and they have drinks. It's like basically a bar with a pool in it. And Brady Tkachuk was at this bar with his all his buddies and they were having a good time. So they had a couple drinks to them and there was this guy at the pool who goes to this bar who says, I've never lost a race in this pool before. And Brady Tkachuk takes him on in a race in this pool.
Matthew
pool
told this, right, in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what podcast he told that on, but yeah, Matthew was the one telling the story. But I guess Brady with his big long arms and his big long reach just dummied this guy in this pool race because he's got that long reach. But pretty funny. And then he got the boot, I think, later that night.
Yeah, you're probably not supposed to do that, but I mean, Brady feels like one of those guys that like. He's so athletic in not a graceful form, but a forceful form. Like him swimming out there, the water's probably splashing like crazy. Like it looks like a shark is attacking a group of kids or something. And like the other guy's going like smoothly and has perfect form, but still Brady ends up beating him just out of sheer force and sheer will. Like, that is like Brady Tkachuk playing basketball, I think would be hilarious. He would just be out there dummying guys and just playing a physical game of basketball. So
dangerous on the post.
Yeah, watch out for those elbows. Those bows are flying, that's for sure. So, I mean, Martian, 2023, 2-0. This team is no longer, they're better than 500. Finally, we've had, how many times have we had this team go down bad, come back up to 500, down bad, up, down, up, down. Now they're finally back. I don't think they've been above 500 since that 4-game win streak at the start of this year.
I think you're right. Actually, I know you're right. That's true. Yeah. So when we said they were back last time, I mean, now they're really back, Pilsy. They're back above. They're above water.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep it going here. I hope they can keep ripping off wins, because their record in the last whatever it is 19 games has been really good. I think 12-5-2 or something like that.
Probably right around there, because I know they were 10-4-1 at one point. So yeah, that sounds about right.
That's a good sample size to be able to say, like, they're ripping off quite a few wins, and some of them are against really good teams too. So they just got to keep it. They just got to keep it rolling the way it's been, and I think they've really found themselves as a team. So that's a good thing.
Yep, you love to see it from the Ottawa Senators end. Oh man, okay, now here's Joe. Here he is, a massive donation, $50 donation. Joe Bell, this guy's an absolute beauty. Shout out to everyone that donated. We got the best community and coverage team in the sport. We're going streaking. Frank the Tank is going streaking out here. Thank you so much, Joe. You don't have to do that. We don't expect that from anyone. We appreciate it nonetheless, but we're just having a good time in the postcast. Like we mentioned, this is just a party. Sens fans getting together, celebrating a massive 4-0 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. All you guys here are awesome. Joe Bell, definitely one of our favorites. This is absolutely a blast to have everyone here. Almost 200 people live right now. The postcast for wins is just, it's must watch, must join, must be involved. It's the best must be involved. I don't think that's very.
I mean, especially after a win, right? There's no better feeling than coming basking in a nice win with your friends and fellow fans of the Ottawa Senators. So it's really cool, and that's what makes our meetups and things like that so fun, right? And usually after the games too, we'll end up. I mean, it's a bit of a shit show, to be honest, but like we end up going out somewhere, and it's all like-minded people who are Sens fans. Everybody's friendly in person. So if you've ever hesitated to come to one of those things, and trust me, I've thought about. I mean, I used to run an anonymous Twitter account where nobody knew what I looked like or who I was, and I wanted to keep it that way. But as soon as I started dipping my toe in the water of like getting more engaged with the fans in person, it made it that much more fun, and it makes you more excited to be a fan, I think, too. So anyone who's hesitated to go to those events, you should definitely come to the next one. We have a lot of fun, and it's good times.
They're the best. Honestly, like, people are always coming up to us. Both times we did it, and they're like, "Oh, this is so awesome! You guys did this. You organized this and everything." Like, this isn't us doing it, just Ross and I. It's all of us together. Like, we're so happy for everyone that comes, and it's a crazy thing because all of us kind of know each other, but don't know each other at all, like through Twitter. So when you start putting people's profiles to their faces when you meet them, and it's just crazy that so many people that I've never met can come together, and there's no like social awkwardness. Everybody's friendly. Different people from all different walks of life, ages, no matter where you live, people are coming from all over. Everyone's gathering together and just having a good time. So definitely we gotta have we are going to have one, but definitely we want more and more people to come out to these things because it's just a good time. And might I add, the Senators have won both games that we have done a Sens Central meetup.
Yes. That's a very good record. That's the same as the record the Sens have in 2023, Pilsy. We won again.
Yep. This team just keeps winning. And you guys are a big part of our team winning the Locked On Senators podcast. And we got to thank you. Martian, anything to add before we wrap things up here?
No, I just think it's exciting to see them like finding their groove and
Oh,
becoming, the team that they are. And I think that they can keep it going at this clip. And I think the odds might be in their favor. If other teams fall off in the standings, then um, I think that's going to happen. So I think that if they can keep playing the way they've been playing, they're going to be in really, really good shape. And we should all be very happy at the end of the year. It'll mean meaningful games at the end of the year, which is all we asked for at the start of this year, anyways. And then for next year, it's going to be a lot of the same guys. There's not going to be a whole lot of turnover
yeah.
other than like a few depth guys. So get excited. Now's the time to jump on the wagon for sure. Like if I'm a fan who's looking, I'm just starting to get into the NHL and I don't know what team I want to cheer for, and I'm actually doing my research, it'll be hard not to choose the Sens, I think.
Agreed.
If you're just a new hockey fan, to like look at all the things we have going for us right now as a fan base, it's a good time to jump on for sure, and especially once they get the new arena too. So, yeah, awesome.
Hell yeah. And Martian, speaking of new fans, my nephew, he's 5 years old. I've converted him to a Sens fan. So you guys might have seen pictures I post when I got my niece and nephew new Sens stuff. And it's perfect because when he's starting to realize what the Sens are and watching them and knows what's going on. So as this team gets better, he's going to love it even more. But I've got him, even people are going up to him being like, hey, why aren't you a Leafs fan? And he's like, because the Leafs suck. Like, he knows how to be a Sens fan. I've got him trained right. So if you guys have young kids, nieces, nephews, you got to get them on the bandwagon now. Get them a Ottawa Senators toque or something so that they can get started at the right time.
I've got a good one too. My brother-in-law he's a Flyers fan. He's still a Flyers fan. Like, don't get me wrong. He bleeds orange for sure. But every time Claude Giroux does anything, I text him, and it drives him nuts because he misses him and he loves Claude Giroux. So he's also got a bit of a soft spot for the Sens, and he used to live in Belleville as well. So
okay, there we go.
Sens connections for him there, so it's easy for us, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's got the connections. Yeah. One last topic, Martian. I can't believe we almost grazed over this. Tomorrow's game, Team USA and Tyler Boucher up against Canada. You made it very clear that you were a Team USA guy, but now, I mean, you really got to. Where do your allegiances lie? Tyler Boucher is up against Canada. How are we feeling for this one, Martian?
This is gonna sound insane, and
no.
Yeah, and
no,
it actually
Martian.
is because like if somebody else said what I'm about to say to me and I didn't understand, then I would be like, this guy's an actual like idiot for not cheering for his own country. But I've been watching every single team US, and I am like, it's a win-win for me, Pillsy. Don't get me wrong here. Like I watched every Canada game as well, and I root for them when they're playing too. And I'm gonna be a little bit torn in this game. I'm kind of gonna be watching it a little bit out of the side of my eye as a Canada fan, right? But Team USA is a team that they're very skilled. They're younger, but they play with so much structure, and that's something that I haven't seen from the Canada team yet. They've been just basically relying on Bedard. So it's essentially going to be Bedard versus Team USA. That's the way I see it. They're going to try their best to shut him down. I know they have a ton of other really skilled players as well, but their defensive game is much better than Team Canada's. And I think that their offense is almost equally as dangerous if you kind of eliminate the Bedard factor too. I mean, those guys like Cooley and Snuggerud and those guys are just absolutely ripping it up. Cutter Gauthier looks okay. He started to put the puck in the back of the net. And then, I mean, Tyler Boucher's line, that third line, they just play a heavy checking game. Yep. There's going to be a lot of different – it's going to be interesting to see the matchups, I think, that they end up going with Bedard. I don't know who they're going to put. I think they're probably just going to keep Luke Hughes out there every chance they get with him and hope that they can kind of contain him a bit. But, man, USA has a strong team. I will not be surprised if they win. I hate to say it.
No, I think it's going to be close. I don't think this is an easy game for Canada at all. And I'm with you. I think Canada just has to hold in there. And our friend Steve G capitalized, go Sens, go, $5 donation. Thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate that. But I think it's going to be a close game. And then can Connor Bedard finish it off for Canada? I'm right with you there. And contrary to popular belief, I do think Luke Hughes is good. Just going to...
I don't know if that's popular belief. I think that's like singular belief. I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
What would compel somebody to say that Luke Hughes isn't good? If you've actually, I mean, I hadn't really watched him play, admittedly, a whole ton until this tournament. But it didn't take long for me to realize that he's actually very good.
Yeah,
So,
seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, for sure. On both sides,
Absolutely.
on both sides of the ice. Like, and he's so much bigger than his brothers too. I think, isn't he? Like, he looks massive. I don't know if it's just a.
He does seem, but I mean, when you're in the World Juniors,
Yeah, I guess that's
anyone
different.
that
But
has a bit of size is going to look big. But
6'2", 6'3", right? Like, he's a pretty big boy back there, I find, and he's still
especially
skinny.
compared to Jack and Quinn, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he's still skinny too, so he's gonna fill out and he's gonna be dangerous. He's a devil, and they have they've got a lot going on over there too. They're gonna be a threat for years.
The second of the Hughes brothers on the Devils, and Josh, thank you for the donation. He says, I think we might be on our way to 40 straight wins here. President's Trophy, triple question mark.
I think we could win every game and still not catch the Bruins. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I love the positivity, Josh. Love it, but probably not going to co-sign on that one. By the way, love the quality Pillsy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. All right. I'm glad. I really wanted to get that Team USA take out of you because I wanted to see if maybe you would switch your allegiance. But as Martian does, he sticks in his takes.
Yeah, you wind me up and let me go and talk about Boucher and Team USA right now.
Yeah. It's a trick as old as time. Just mention
want to add an extra 10
pass
minutes
it
to this postcast? Talk about Boucher, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our favorite Sens prospects, that's for sure. Guys, can't thank you enough. This has been an awesome postcast for myself, Brandon Pillar, for the Martian at Lalim's Martian. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators postcast. Your Ottawa Senators get a 4-0 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will have another episode of the Locked On Podcast Network, or Locked On Senators podcast, I should say, tomorrow with a Sens Central citizen. You guys know it's a Wednesday, so tune into that tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Good night, and let's get some all caps, Go Sens Go, in the chat.